All right, so we've done it again. We've climbed aboard the Queen Mary 2. We're somewhere in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean en route to Southampton, England from New York City, and we're going to show you everything about this ship. This is my 5th crossing. We have done this before, posted a video last year. A lot of you liked it, but others said, I need to see everything on board the ship. Show me all of it. So we're going to do that, floor by floor, stem to stern. You are going to get to know the Queen Mary 2 like you've never seen it before. And if you're about to book travel on this beautiful ocean liner, you're definitely going to want to stick around. All right, as we board the Queen Mary 2, once again, we are bound for the European continent as we leave Brooklyn. Let's hope things go a little better than they did here at Sendoff, because what a storm that blew through on our departure day. It knocked over everything on the pier, created a real mess. This system moved through pretty quick, though, thankfully, and it was not a harbinger of things to come on the crossing. In fact, weather was great, other than this little skiff that came through there. Little information as we board the Queen Mary 2 right now. It is a big ship, 149,000 tons. It's 1,132 feet long. It's 5 times longer than Cunard's first ship, which was the Britannia. In fact, Britannia could fit into Queen Mary 2's restaurant. That's how big this ship is. It's more than twice as long as the Washington Monument is tall. It's 147 feet longer than the Eiffel Tower is tall. It's just 117 feet shorter than the Empire State Building is tall. This thing is big. And yes, much larger than Titanic, by the way, too. It's a much bigger ship, if you were wondering. So, as we promised, we are going to go over this ship deck by deck, give you a sense of what exactly is on board this cruise ship, and give you a better idea of what you can expect if you do plan to book passage on the world's only ocean liner. The good news is this ship recently went into dry dock. They did some refurbishments, and it really has made a difference. The biggest one is the internet. They've gone with Elon Musk's Starlink, and it is screaming fast. You can actually stream movies from Netflix and so forth on board the ship, which is amazing. The package for 2 devices will cost you $200 or $300 for the week, but depending on how connected you want to be, it can really help out. So we'll start at the very bottom of the ship. Of course, deck 1, there's not a whole lot to see or do down here. This is mostly crew quarters. There's a little bit of common space. And this is also where you can access the ship hospital. So if you have any medical needs, they can tend to you here. They have regular hours. They can give you shots. They actually can do a whole lot of things that a regular hospital can, because essentially it is a floating hospital. You're out in the middle of nowhere with no real medical facilities nearby. So they have to be able to do anything here, and they certainly can. We'll take you up a row now to deck 2, and this is one of the common areas on the ship, and it's dominated by Britannia Restaurant. This is a 2-story restaurant, so it goes on to level 3 as well. This is sort of the main formal fancy dining room, and this is where you'll be spending quite a bit of time. Also on deck 2, you'll find the photo gallery, and you're also going to find the Golden Lion Pub, and it's a pretty cool place to spend some time, have some drinks, have some fish and chips. They've got great food down here, and you're definitely going to want to deviate from sort of the main fancy dining and come down here and have some pub grub. You're going to like it in this room. They have lots of bingo games here, too, so that's a good time. Along the hallways, you're going to find some cool artwork, sort of these bas-relief pieces of art, and then you make your way down to the grand lobby, and this is sort of the picturesque place right there in the middle of the ship near the purser's office, where you can get some really great photos. The stairs lead up to deck 3. There's some other things that you can take in while you're here in the grand lobby area. That is the casino, which is nearby, and a lot of people spend some time in there. There's a full bar in there as well. Also, it's dominated by this massive flower arrangement that is fresh throughout the week. It's right there in the middle of the ship, and people really seem to like to stop by and catch a whiff. Personally, I thought it smelled a little like a funeral home all week, but that's okay. It's not too shabby. Also on deck 2, you're going to find some of the common spaces where you're going to spend some extra time being entertained, like the Royal Court Theater. It's a big plush theater, lots of seats, lots of high tech. There's a great LED screen where they can make all kinds of magic, and there's some great shows that go on in here and lectures throughout the day. So Royal Court will be a big part of your trip on board Queen Mary 2. Also on level 2, you'll find Connections. It's sort of a place to have smaller meetings. There's a coffee bar back here, some couches, places to relax. There's an internet room back there too, where there's some computer consoles that you can use, which are nice. And then if you go up from Connections, you're going to find yourself near the planetarium/other theater here, which is Illuminations, and that's a popular place to visit too. Behind the scenes on deck 2, you'll find all kinds of memorabilia that tells the story of Queen Mary 2, some of the ports that she's been to, some of the commendations she's received, a little bit of the history of this big, massive ship. And so if you really want to drink in a little maritime history, do it on level 2 right here in Connections. Level 3 also gets you into illuminations on the upper level right there, and you can see what goes on in here. Again, this is the planetarium and lecture hall. Lots going on in here, and it's got nice theater seating, so this is a great place to take in some entertainment. Also in the hallways on these decks 2 and 3, you're going to learn a lot about the history of the ship and some of the celebrities who've set sail on board Cunard cruise ships in the past. We're talking Hollywood royalty, we're talking the royal family, Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth, they've all been on board one of the Cunard ships. In fact, they've helped name most of them at some point along the way, so it gives you a great sense of who has graced the halls of Cunard ships in the past. It's kind of fun to walk through here and see some old famous names. There's Dean and Jerry, Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, of course, and lots of other Hollywood stars. Kind of fun. Also on Deck 3, as we make our way back to the upper level of the Grand Lobby, you're going to see some of what goes on in there. Some of the nice settings that surround the Grand Lobby. There's this champagne bar, which is cool. I've never darkened its doorstep, but lots of people do. There's also another bar called the Chart Room. It's sort of a fancier version of the Golden Lion Pub. And there's also a coffee shop, Sir Samuel's, which is great. They have perfect cappuccinos and pastries in the morning. If you want to get in on that, it's a great way to spend some time. And then as you make your way around the Grand Lobby, there's also some super high-end shopping, some stores in there that sell watches, jewelry, clothes, that sort of thing. So if you've forgotten something on board the ship, these are the places that you can take care of that. You're also going to find this bell, which they ring periodically throughout the ship. It's got some history with the ship. In fact, I think it's original to it. I think the bell came around in 2003, and the ship launched in 2004. It's about 20 years old now, but it still looks pretty good. Also on Deck 3, behind Britannia, you're going to find some pretty popular spots on board the ship. The Queen's Room, this is where they have high tea periodically throughout the ship in the afternoon. They also have a lot of entertainment at night with big bands, lots of waltzes, some fancy formal dancing goes on back here. And then tucked away behind the Queen's Room is the nightclub on board the ship. It's called G32. This place doesn't usually get it going until late at night, but once it does, look out. It can get thumping well into the early morning hours. They've got this fun thing they do right now. It's called Silent Disco. About 1 or 2 nights during the cruise, they'll bring these headphones out, and if you know the rules, it's awesome. Basically, they have 3 channels of music. You can listen to one, your friend can listen to another, you can all jam out to different music, and there's no real noise going out into the actual bar. It's kind of fun. It's definitely something you're going to want to check out. All right, let's make our way up from level 3 onto some of the cruise passenger levels on board. Not much to show you really here on levels 4 through 6 or so. These are where most of the cabins are. I'll show you around my cabin. It's on level 4 right now, and it's a pretty standard balcony cabin. It's nice. Big double bed right there. Lots of storage and closet space, lots of drawers. Take you out to the balcony and give you a sense of the view from there. It's really great. And on this crossing, as we said, nice smooth waters. You never quite know in the North Atlantic, but this one's been really nice and smooth, and so no problems at all. You can spend some time out there. The thing about North Atlantic sailings also, just, it gets a little cold. It's definitely not the Caribbean up here, so you're probably not going to spend a whole lot of time out on that balcony. Take you inside the bathroom right now, show you around. It's pretty standard, but it's fine. It serves the purpose. It's pretty great. The showers, by the way, nice hot water. I don't think I've ever had a hotter shower when traveling than I have on board the Queen Mary 2. It's fantastic. So yeah, decks 4, 5, 6, pretty much standard fare. It's all passenger cabins. Each one will have its own laundrette, so you can do laundry throughout the week. There are several washers and dryers to get the job done. I would do it earlier in the week than later, and I know that doesn't make much sense because you won't have many dirty clothes, but by the end of the sailing, these things get pretty packed. People are using these things night and day right up until closing time. So if you need to do laundry, make sure that you time it out pretty well. Also on Deck 6, you're going to find the Kids Zone. This is sort of the nursery daycare center where folks can take their children's kids club. They have a lot of fun out here, and it's a good time for man and beast. We'll explain the beast part here in just a minute. There's also a family area out on the deck on Deck 6 where you can get out there. There's some pool area. It's exclusive area on the aft part of the ship, and it's kind of fun for families to hang out in. So that's just off the back end of level 6. If you go up to level 7, we're going to fast forward things a little bit here and take you all around the outside of the ship to show you the promenade, show you the deck chairs that are out there lining both sides. It's a good way to lay out. It's also a good way to get in steps, and lots of people do. 3 times around the level 7 track is 1 mile. So if you do this a few times, you can really get those steps in, sort of work off some of that buffet food. And speaking of, we're going to take you inside on level 7 and show you around. This is where you can eat. King's Court, of course, is the most popular part. It's the buffet. It's where you'll spend lots of time eating. There are some fancier parts to this too. Princess Grill, and some areas of access on level 7 that are not for the commoners. They're for the folks who pay more and have the fancier cabins. They get access to these restaurants, and they are pretty high-end. But King's Court is just fine. The food is fantastic. They've got a bevy of meats and salads and desserts, pastries, anything you want. They've got it right here, and you're definitely going to gain some weight after eating at King's Court after a few days. And if you're concerned about your weight, then also on level 7, this very same level, there's access to the spa, which you can book any kind of appointment that you want. They have manicures, pedicures, haircuts, massages, all that good stuff. And then just around a corner from the spa, you've got the fitness center. It's open pretty much all day. They close in the evening, but it's usually pretty busy. Lots of folks in here getting their steps in, getting some exercise in, lifting some weights, using the treadmill. And so I've never had to wait for a machine, but it's definitely a more busy part of the ship, so you will definitely find some friends in the fitness center. Also on level 7, Corinthia Lounge. This is a nice place to sort of take in the afternoon. They've got live music a lot of times. They've got games that you can play. There are nice sandwiches and sort of small bites that you can grab in here, get a drink, read a book, maybe spend some time checking email, that sort of thing. But this is a great spot to spend an afternoon on board Queen Mary 2, Corinthia Lounge on level 7. There's also a place that a lot of people don't know about on level 7 called Chef's Galley. It's kind of part of King's Court Buffet, but you can go back here and order off the menu. You can get a hamburger, a hot dog, that sort of thing. If you're sort of sick of typical buffet fare, this is the place for you. Taking it up to level 8 right now. There are more passenger cabins on level 8, but this is also where you can access some outside decks and some restaurants, including the high-end steakhouse on board the ship. It's called the Veranda. It's at the tail end of the ship. They've got great food, wonderful steaks. It's a nice place to spend one evening on your crossing, so you're going to want to come here and have a meal if you want to. And then just outside Veranda Restaurant, there's the place called the Terrace Bar. It's where the swimming pools are. There's a nice deck at the back of the ship. You can watch the sunset out here. You can see the trail left behind by the propellers in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's a nice place to just sort of take it in and slow things down out here on one of the nights of your sailing. There's also the library and bookstore on this level. They've got a nice little bookstore with all kinds of gifts that you can take home to the folks who didn't get to make the crossing. And then the library is really extensive. It's nicely put together, great lighting, a quiet space. They've got computers here, and they've got a really vast selection of books on all kinds of subjects that you can read up on. A lot of people like to take this cruise because of the slow pace, and part of that includes reading usually. And so this is a good place to do it. Get a book, find a deck, and sort of relax. There's also this cool outside elevator nearby that takes you a couple levels down if you want to. It's sort of glass encased, and you can get a good view of the ship. Let's go up to Deck 9 right now. There's the Commodore Club. This is a nice, really high-end spot, too. It's a really good spot at the front of the ship to sit in there, have a nice drink. There's a piano bar, great service, really unique cocktails in here, too. So I would recommend Commodore Club, at least for 1 or 2 nights on the trip, to have a drink or two. Taking you outside again right here for the observation deck. This gives you another outside view of the ship, and it's a pretty cool view, so you'll want to take it in on Deck 9. On decks 10 and 11, more cabins, more common space, places like the Atlantic Room. This is a small little room where people play bridge, not a whole lot to it. There's also an observation deck where you can get outside. Again, it does tend to get windy and a little chilly out here in the North Atlantic, so you don't see a ton of people spending time on the outer decks, observation decks on 10, 11, 12, but if you want to get away from it all, this is a good place to do it, and the views are fantastic. You're also going to find Grills Terrace. This is a private space. If you've booked one of the fancier cabins, this is just for you. It's a nice little outside area. On Deck 12, you're going to find the Pavilion Pool and Bar. This is the indoor pool. It can get pretty busy. Lots of kids hang out in here. I haven't seen a whole lot of other activity. Occasionally there's a band playing here, and the bar's usually hopping. They've got table tennis and some other stuff too. But yeah, this is a popular spot if you want to swim, but you don't want to go outside into the cold. And this is also where you can get that really fantastic view of the outside with the big Queen Mary 2 signage on the side of the ship. You want to take a picture there. There's also what appears to be a pickleball court. It's not regulation, though, and I rarely, if ever, see anybody using this, but it's there if you want to give it a shot. And there's this massive deck area that's painted where you can play shuffleboard or any of these other games, but I don't really see people out here that often. It's also where a helicopter would land if there needed to be a medical evacuation, which does happen from time to time. So if a chopper was going to set down to get a passenger out of here, this is where that would happen. There's also another restaurant called the Boardwalk. I've never seen it open. I don't think anyone ever has eaten at this restaurant. And then there's the lookout. You can get a view from the front of the ship at the very top, up by the radar balls, and really sort of get the top full view of Queen Mary 2. And you're going to certainly get a taste of the wind that comes out here in the North Atlantic. Although, again, for the most part, we had pretty good conditions on our sailing. And one of the things you're going to run into up here is the kennels. This is a very popular way to get across the Atlantic for folks who have dogs. They hop on board with their pets and they cross the ocean. They've got this cool kennel space where you can keep your dog. They've even replicated a fire hydrant if your dog is attracted to those when it comes to urinating. So it's kind of fun, and dogs are one of the things that makes the Queen Mary 2 unique. Fact is, lots of things make this ship unique. It is one of a kind. It is the only ocean liner for passengers that's in existence to this day. And if you've ever dreamed of traveling Titanic style, with a better outcome, of course, then Queen Mary 2 probably is the way to do it. So there you have it. We have just crossed the Atlantic once again. It's a time warp because I'm actually back in Brooklyn as I shoot this, but that's the magic of YouTube, apparently. Nevertheless, hope you enjoyed that little tour of the Queen Mary 2. It is a fantastic ship. It's big, it's beautiful, and it's the only one of its kind in the entire world. And if you haven't booked passage yet, and if you're a big fan of old school travel, this probably is the vessel for you. It's not an endorsement. They didn't give me anything for free to say that. I'm just saying, as somebody who's done it 5 times, you'd probably like it. That's it for this episode from Window Seat. I'm Jeremy Hubbard in Brooklyn, New York. Hope you like and share this video so we can spread the word about what we're doing. Also, if you'd be so kind, hit subscribe as we try to travel to every country in the world. I'm at 73 countries right now, got a long way to go. Hope you'll tag along on the journey. We're back with another brand new episode of Window Seat next Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. In the meantime, hope you enjoy one of these other episodes from Window Seat.